Taking you home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate Thursday and Saturday mornings on KNSI. A new time Saturdays. So here we go. 7:20 Thursday mornings, Saturday afternoon at 12:50 here. AM 1450, FM 99.3. KNSI. Heidi back in studio with us. Nice to see you again, young lady.
Yeah, good to see you.
Wow, the world of real estate. Is it ever going to slow down?
Yeah, you know that it's kind of like we need a new word for it because it's never slow. It's just ever changing, and the dynamic on which pace things happen changes in every season. I mean, it can we can see a calculated change in a 2 or 3 week process at this point.
Even though interest rates are up, right? Things are still going on up there.
Oh, absolutely. We're running around and trying to get people to their next place and having meetings, devising strategic plans for people so they're ready when the right thing shows up for them.
Howdy, Heidi, how do I make sure that, I mean, I'm waiting for a property, right? We've been looking for a house for years. Now that interest rates are up, you have to be a little more picky and choosy. How do I make sure that I don't miss the opportunity?
Yeah, well, that's something I've been talking about a lot, and I think that the streamlining of managing the inventory levels is important, and that revolves around having some good conversations. And there's a couple ways that we can do that. The first way I've had success at that this year is by meeting with people and having their house ready, where we have like a price picked out and we already have pictures taken of their home, so that if they see a house that they want to go after and perhaps they write an offer contingent on the sale of their home, we can put that home on the market within 24 hours.
How important is that? I mean, with the way the market is right now, to be able to, when you make that decision, to be able to get that property on the market?
Well, if you want to be competitive, it's very important, and it really is going to be impactful depending on what price range you're at. But, you know, in the last 3 to 4 years, you couldn't win even if you had a house that needed to close. And now we're evolving into a little bit more of a balancing act where you could potentially do that. But, you know, I guess one of the things I wanted to talk about today is something that isn't really out there where people know about it unless they've had a conversation with a real estate professional. And that is the option of actually putting your house on the market, knowing that this is the year that you're going to move, and then putting out there language that says the sale of this property is going to be subject to us successfully finding our next property.
It's kind of like a reverse contingency.
It's a reverse contingency, really. Right. And the interesting thing is that when you are, for example, maybe 400,000 and under, a lot of the times the people that are buying your home may not have a home to sell. Right. And at that point, we're in a position where we can, put it out there, and somebody will say, yeah, I want to buy this house, and I'm okay with waiting because I'm in a lease, or I'm okay with waiting a 2-week period for this to happen. So it mitigates the risk for the person that wants to put their house on the market. And generally, people feel most comfortable doing this when they've been already looking and they say, you know what? There are now 2 or 3 homes that would be a viable option for us, so we're not scared to do this.
Is there ever a downside to something like this? And here's why I'm asking this question, right? If I go and I'm just perusing some website out there, some MLS website, and I see that this home has been on the market for, oh my gosh, 2 months? Oh, now it's 3 months, and it's not selling. And I don't know it's not selling because of the other reverse contingency, right? Does that have a negative effect, or can it, or not?
I don't think that that is the result of this strategy, because what we generally find is that people are going to be putting their home on the market, and perhaps they get an offer within, let's say, 2 weeks.
Okay.
The status of that property at that point would change. It would change to subject to other, or subject to them finding something. Okay. We would be changing the status. So it's not going to be hanging out there in the MLS like it's an unsaleable property.
Exactly.
It's going to be hanging out there like there's some contingencies on this, and at that point, and I think in my career maybe twice when I've done this.
Okay.
Somebody hasn't found something.
Right.
So it's not, people will usually find something, especially when they get a good price on their home. They're going, okay, let's do this.
Can you put a note on that listing so that people understand what's going on?
100%. Okay. Yeah, that would be part of our marketing.
All right, got you. Now, next thing, and by the way, I love the fact that you always bring these scenarios in here. How can you effectively alter this process, right? And we're kind of talking about that right now. Being able to, I guess, making sure that, your pictures are all ready, everything is set to go, financing is in place?
Yep, and it's an important piece of the puzzle, because there are a lot of people, I experienced that this week, where, we had almost 28 showings on a property. The bulk of them happened Friday through Sunday, and I had at least 3-4 agents that were saying, well, my people have to go to the bank on Monday. Oops. So they were looking, and they couldn't really do anything because they had to go bank or revisit the bank and kind of find out, where they're at. So doing that in advance puts you in a competitive advantage, I believe. But altering the process from my mindset of the inventory management in this, this dynamic of the marketplace is that the more inventory we put out there, the more people that get into the market, and it creates a snowball effect. It's one of the reasons that we always start doing open houses early, because it gets people excited about real estate.
Absolutely. Heidi, thank you.
Yes.
Taking you home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate every Thursday morning at 7:20, and now a new time, Saturday afternoons, 12:50, here on KNSI. Remember now, start that home search at VoigtJohnson.com.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, my apologies for all of the changes.